Athena-san, welcome back. We're doing it. We're continuing on in our journey for Ace Attorney, for Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, Episode 5, Turnabout Revolution. We're going into apparently trial day 1, whatever that is, because I am still so confused by how this is all turning about. We're apparently going to face Phoenix. As you guys saw in the last episode, Apollo's horrible voice is going to return. I'm going to need a lot of water and soda to actually get this voice out. There was a reason I stopped doing it. Like, I can do some voices, but trust me, some of them really hurt, especially when they're as dialogue heavy as someone like Apollo. So, anyway, let's get it started. Come on. May 17th, 10:08 a.m. Make up your mind, Capcom, on if you want me to have my timestamps or not. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Just so you know, I'm not going to take sides. Message received, loud and... No, I'm doing my normal voice until Phoenix is in the picture. Message received, loud and clear. Good, because I don't like this one bit. You and Daddy should be on the same team. Totally true. Sorry, Trucy. Wow, she's really mad. I'm sorry, too, little lady. This is all my fault. I'm just worried things will never be the same between Daddy and Apollo. It's gonna be fine. There's a reason for it. If they go through with this... Is that all? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. That's the way it is with us men. We may fight, but we don't burn bridges. Really? We burn bridges like there's no tomorrow. He's just an idiot. Sure, one minute we're trading blows, the next we're having drinks together. I'm positive you don't do that with every guy you trade blows with. We're simple creatures at heart. Ha 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 ha. I sure hope you're right. Sorry I'm late, Apollo. Athena, there you are. What happened with you and Mr.Wright yesterday? Oh, about that. I ended up going to the wrong airport. I was waiting there thinking his flight was really late, and before I knew it, I dozed off. By the time I woke up, it was already dark. I figured something like that had happened. Being late and dozing off are two things you do best. Guilty as charged. So then, I take it you have no idea what today's case is about. Not a clue, sorry. What is today's case about, if I might ask? You don't want to know. My advice is you don't want to know. Another locked room mystery? A suspect with a flimsy alibi? Ooh, or a dying message? Are you referencing your own case that I solved for you? Sorry, strike 3, you're out. It's a civil case. A civil case? You act like I'm speaking Swahili here. It's just that the Right Anything Agency specializes in criminal law, or so I thought. We do? In civil cases, there are no prosecutors, right? Instead, both parties retain an attorney? Right, and the other attorney is someone you know very well! Ha, 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 you know extremely well. Really? Who? The trial will begin shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay, let's do this. Here comes justice. Apollo, wait, who's the other attorney? Just go in there and you'll figure out. And where's Mr. Wright? No time to explain. Let's go. Wait, are we having our normal judge on this? I don't remember. Okay, right behind you. May 17th, 10:30 a.m. Oh, thank you for the timestamps. Keep up my timestamps, though. District Court, courtroom number 6. Day 1, court is now in session. All rise! Court is now in session. Oh, this is awkward. This is awkward! This is awkward! Is this some sort of practice session? Nope, this is a civil case. You get 2 lawyers. A mock trial, perhaps? Oh, we wish. No, it's not, Your Honor. It's the real deal, Your Honor. It's just a bad real deal. So then you two have had a falling out? Nope. I won't have you be using my courtroom for that, you know. It's nothing like that, Your Honor. It's nothing like that. Exactly. Oh, God. I'm supposed to switch voices. Alright, guys. I'm going to switch the voices. I will get Apollo. Okay, I'm ready. Exactly. It just so happens that we have different clients in this case. I see. Well, here's to hoping that this has no adverse effect on your working relationship.
You can't say that again. I had no idea we'd be going against the boss today.
I said it was a lawyer you knew well. How did you not connect the dots?
You sure this is a good idea, Apollo?
What, do you want to switch sides? Do you want to be on our mentor side?
Honestly, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now.
That was my phone, I apologize. Okay, now we gotta switch Apollo's voice back. God. Okay, I've got water, so I should be good to go. Mr. Justice? Yes? Don't expect me to pull any punches just because you're the opposing lawyer. As I said, the kid gloves are off, and come what may, they'll stay off. Same here, Mr. Wright. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. Dear God, what am I getting myself into? If anybody's commenting on, hey, didn't you already play this game in Japanese? I only tried to translate what is to come. Meaning, like about the very last part of this episode is the one where I'll try not to make too many witty comments because I'll spoil a lot of things. I quite honestly did not translate this. One, because I quite honestly was in so much shock that I was facing Phoenix, like I am now, that I really didn't want to try to translate. Anyway, let's journey down the rabbit hole together, everyone. Why are you people in the gallery for a civil case?
Kish, you guys are really chomping at it a bit, aren't you?
I don't mind a good fight between co-workers. Just keep it civil just in case. Alright. Now then, if the plaintiff would take the stand, we may begin. This is gonna be the weirdest thing ever. Right, left, halt! Dear God.
Noble judge, members of the gallery, good day to you. I am Addition. This is but a short start of my epic campaign, and you all have the honor of witnessing it. I believe in the youth of this country and our very future. Too long have they been looked down on and given the cold shoulder. So to them I say, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do. You are not allowed to do crap like that, buddy. No. You cannot quote one of our presidents and say it like it's something you came up with. No. You're not allowed to do that.
Mr. Titian, what is that crazy contraption you're riding?
It's my custom-made election-winning campaign mobile. Beautiful, isn't it?
You're at a witness stand, not a campaign podium. So come out of there this instant. He's like, ugh! I hate you, judgy boy. Oh, look, he's got a little name tag. All right, now with the plaintiff's attorney, Mr.Wright. Please explain the complaint filed against the defendant.
Mr. Titian's complaint against the defendant is simple. The defendant, one Dirk Samadi, stole my client's family heirloom, the Crystal of Ami Faye. Again, if it's the Crystal of Ami Faye, why is it not in the Faye family? Mr. Titian merely seeks its return. This wouldn't have happened if the archaeologist hadn't kicked the bucket.
I see. Well, Mr. Justice, let's have your opening statement if you would.
The defense asserts that the item in question is the Founder's Orb, a sacred relic from Khura'in.
Go on.
It seems someone asked an archaeologist, Dr. Archie Buff, to study the orb. Dr. Buff determined that it was a Khura'inese national treasure known as the Founder's Orb. The very orb that was stolen from a treasure room in Khura'in several weeks ago. Crap!
Why, yes, I saw a news report about that. The theft of the Khura'inese national treasure caused quite an uproar in the kingdom. I think it was more the uproar of what Phoenix did.
Well, we believe that okay. I keep apologizing. I keep wanting to do Paulo in my normal voice. So I'm going to do him in my normal voice until we get into, like, the nitty-gritty of the actual case, where I'm actually going to change, because I have a feeling we're going to have lots of dialogue between them. Well, we believe that it was not, in fact, a theft in a traditional sense, but rather that it was spirited out of Khura'in by someone for Dr. Buff to study.
You don't say! And?
Around that time, an acquaintance of the defendant learned of Dr. Buff. He made contact with the doctor, who agreed to hand over the orb. Apparently, the doctor wanted nothing to do with it once he'd learned it had been stolen. Can't blame the guy.
It seems you even have a transfer agreement between both parties.
Mr. Samadi also agreed to return the Founder's Orb to the Kingdom of Khura'in once the doctor verified it was the real thing.
I see. So this dispute centers on whether the item in question is the Founder's Orb or the Crystal of Ami Faye. That in turn will determine the object's rightful owner.
I better bring my A game. Going up against Mr. Wright will not be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a walk in the park, Apollo. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad.
Come to think of it, the name Dirk Samadi sounds awfully familiar. You don't know it.
Don't even question it. You don't know it.
But I can't recall where I've heard it.
You don't know it. You don't know it. Let's move on. Oh, it's probably your imagination, Your Honor. He's just a tourist, after all.
My imagination, you say?
Yes, don't question it further, judgy boy. Are you sure about this, Apollo? He's a wanted criminal in Khura'in, isn't he?
In Khura'in? Yes. Here, he's just a tourist. Very well, let's begin the proceedings. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness?
What witness?
Oh, dear God, what is this?
Oh, it's Emma. Why are you a witness again?
Emma?
Show some manners. We're in court. And when have I ever not called you Emma in court? I know, it's just... This is a civil trial, so I was surprised to see a detective take the stand. I
I had her do some digging on Dr. Buff. Okay, we're gonna switch Apollo now.
What for?
You disappoint me, Apollo. First, you know I'm not just a detective. I'm a forensic scientist. Do try and remember that. Second, you owe Mr. Wright an apology. After all he's done for you, you have some nerve.
First, I'm sorry, and second, I'm really trying to do my job.
You'll never get anywhere with that attitude. Take some advice from someone who's been there.
Why do I feel like I'm on trial here?
Detective Sky, your testimony, if you please. The doctor's dark secret. Bum, bum, bum! The police have had their eye on Dr. Buff for some time. And just today, a number of stolen artifacts were discovered in his study. Among them were a priceless urn and a statue which were stolen from the Fae clan. I knew it. Everybody, if you've played through Trials and Tribulations, that already set off so many alarms. It seems the doctor would do anything to study artifacts, including steal them. As for the relic at the center of this dispute, he likely stole it from the Titian resonance. The doctor is a thief?
Why am I just hearing about this now?
Well, cat burglar isn't something he put on his resume. He was more careful than that. But the fact is, he was a classic treasure hunter. A treasure hunter, huh? Like people who have thrilling adventures in exotic places, risking life and limb for glory?
I doubt Dr. Buff was the star of his own hit movie series, Athena.
Out of respect for the dead, I will say Dr. Buff wasn't doing it to get rich. Apparently, he only wanted to borrow artifacts to study them. He would then return them as soon as his research was finished. According to the doctor's child, he would even repair or restore some of the artifacts he stole before returning them. He believed he was honoring the dead by discovering their history through artifacts. But whatever lofty ideals he held, it made no difference. Larceny is larceny. It's larceny if someone reports it. Yes! He certainly sounds no different than a regular thief to me!
So, let's say for a moment that the doctor really did moonlight in stealing artifacts. Might he not have stolen the Founder's Orb in Khura'in and brought it back here himself?
Nope! There's no record of him traveling overseas over the past few years.
Crap! Damn you, Phoenix!
Plus, he couldn't very well leave his reclusive child at home alone. Then this really must be the crystal. It is not! Let me at least try to do my job before you make assumptions, buddy. Yes, he stole it from the Titian estate, probably so he could study it.
This is the left hook I didn't need.
I bet you never saw that coming, Apollo. Screw you!
Yeah, when Mr. Wright said the kid gloves are off, he wasn't kidding.
Oh dear God, where are you pulling next, Phoenix? Dot dot dot! Mr. Justice! You may proceed with your cross-examination! I just want to press that fifth statement. I know that she's got information for me apparently at that fifth statement because God was that fifth statement just an assumption on your part without giving me any evidence! Come on, I want my evidence. You see, I want to know if you have any proof.
You claim he stole a family heirloom from the Titian resonance? But claiming something doesn't make it true. Unfortunately, it is true. How can you be so sure?
A police report was filed concerning the theft. 1 year ago, in fact.
What? A whole year ago?
August 25th of last year, to be exact. The report states, and I quote, "The crystal of Amife was discovered to be missing from the Attition storehouse at 10 a.m. The storehouse lock had been picked. Signed, Paul Estinian Wimperson?" Well, a year-old report certainly lends to the plaintiff's claim credence. The doctor really could have stolen the crystal of Amife. Not only that, Your Honor, but the Founder's Orb was only found to be missing several weeks ago. It does not mean it wasn't stolen before then. God, Phoenix, get your act together. That's nearly a year after the crystal's theft was reported. Therefore, I believe we must consider the orb of the crystal to be two separate things.
Shut up, Phoenix!
Paul Attition Wimperson. Not the most awe-inspiring tail end, is it? I see why he cut it.
Not that he inspires confidence without it. Still, I'd probably do the same in his shoes.
I'd do the same too. No one wants your last name to be called the Whipbustin. A police report was filed about the crystal's theft a year ago.
But the theft of the Founder's Orb was only reported a few weeks ago.
So the crystal's police report was filed before the orb was found missing.
That suggests that the stolen relic is the crystal of Amife, as Mr. Attition Wimperson asserts.
I doubt the police report is a fake. After all, Emma is the one who submitted it as evidence.
Still, I feel like something we learned in that police report is important somehow.
I pressed you because I wanted to. Guess what? I get to prove you wrong. Email!
Objection!
The doctor stole the relic from the plaintiff? Are you sure? Because that statement doesn't agree with a certain piece of evidence.
Oh! What do you mean?
Take a look at this.
What about it?
This contains an email from the doctor's computer.
Email? Is that a little piece of plastic? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Oh, the stick here can store all sorts of computer data.
I still don't get it! Judgy boy! Here, just look at this.
Apparently the doctor was reporting on his research findings to a certain individual. Now, take a look at this. It's the police report Detective Sky presented to this court. You can see the plaintiff's legal name on it. Paul Attition Wimperson.
I can see why he dropped the Wimperson from his name, but that's hardly breaking news.
Look closer, Your Honor.
His initials.
Right. The plaintiff's full legal name is Paul Attition Wimperson. Now consider this. The email's recipient address answers with these 3 letters. B-A-T... Ah! Don't tell me. Oh, but I will anyway. The individual who hired the doctor to study the disputed item is none other than Palestinian Wimperson. Wait, then that means there was no goddamn theft and he's just trying to provoke me. Exactly. You wouldn't have asked the man who stole his family heirloom to study it. Therefore, how could this possibly be the crystal of Ami Faye?
I have a feeling this trial is going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. We never checked the doctor's emails.
What kind of detective are you to not check somebody's emails, damn it?
We couldn't even figure out the password to his computer.
The plaintiff willingly left the orb in the doctor's care so he could study it, at the behest of his benefactor.
Wait. Then what about the police report? I have all the details of the theft right here.
It's probably another relic, the real crystal of Ami Faye. He's just using the report as a way to claim that our orb is actually his stolen crystal.
Objection!
Screw you! I was on a roll! And how are you so certain that PAW refers to my client's initials? Maybe the email recipient was a dog lover.
Perhaps. So let's get to know your client a little better, shall we? Mr. Politician Wimperson!
Mimi! Sorry about that, guys.
I suppose shutting down the detractors is a part of a politician's job.
Answer me this, Mr. Titian Wimperson. What is your birthday? Because that's my guess on what 7-Eleven is.
What is your birthday?
My birthday? It's July 11, but what's it to you? How? You got owned!
Oh, I see. You can address birthday gifts to my office. But full disclosure, I only accept gifts valued at $1,000 or more.
Oh, God. Phoenix is like, shit you! Oh, screw you, my client! You just screwed me over!
Why is everyone gone silent? How can anyone be that self-centered? Oh, right, politician. Did everyone hear that? He said July 11. July 11, or rather 7-11, matches the numbers in the email address. Both the name and the birthday are a match. I hardly think that's a coincidence.
Who makes their email address their initials plus their birthday? That is, like, stupid. Wait. Why, you sneaky little...
Looks like someone finally decided to join the conversation. Would the plaintiff care to explain?
I would like to say that it is quite...
Quite what?
Quite a thing.
You said?
Wee. Dots. He's like, I can't tell.
Any other thoughts?
No further comments.
I stand by my previous statement.
Hold it!
You can't just walk away! Even politicians have to explain themselves in a court of law! I'm afraid I simply don't know how it happened. I can't possibly explain matters outside of my purview. Perhaps it was a mistake on the part of my secretary. Oh, no you don't, you slippery eel. Mr. Wright, would you care to respond?
Damn it, he's back to his thinking pose! Crap! I won't argue your assertion. My client lent the treasure in question to the doctor and asked him to study it. It seems that much is a fact.
Now we're getting somewhere.
However, it has no bearing on the issue of ownership.
How so?
Mr. Attition, I fully understand your position here. You had to hide the fact that you sent the crystal out to be studied. Your family would have been very upset if they had found out. It is a family heirloom after all.
You've got to be kidding me! Mr. Wright is, well, right, of course. But then he always is, that's why he's my lawyer.
Screw you, buddy! I don't know what you're holding over him. But God, you're holding something.
The crystal is a process of studying Attition family heirloom and has been for centuries. But Dr. Buff was so eager to study its proud heritage, I just couldn't say no. I didn't even tell my grandfather.
Objection!
But in order to win the backing of your so-called benefactor, you were going to give what you claimed to be the crystal of Ami Faye to that person. You were going to give a precious family heirloom away just like that. I was going to explain everything to grandfather later. Honest.
My client's grandfather is very proud of his grandson for following in his footsteps. And if refusing him would have meant dashing the dreams of his darling grandson, I doubt the kindly old man could have said no. Well, grandchildren are meant to be spoiled. That's what grandfathers are for.
Your Honor, please. I mean, it's been in the family for centuries. My grandfather thinks highly of my talent as a politician. That's why he entrusted me with this very important name placard today. I'm sure he would have been okay with me using the crystal as I saw fit. Grr. Grandpa, spoiled little brat.
I think the judge is buying it, Apollo.
No surprise there. He's always going on about his own grandchild, after all.
Excuse me, can I leave now, Mr. Wright? I believe my work here is done. By all means, Detective Sky, thank you for your assistance. You're welcome. It's nice to testify at a civil trial once in a while. See you around. It seems the facts have changed somewhat. Mr. Attition Wimperson abandoned lent his family heirloom to Dr. Buff. Mr. Justice!
Alright, now what?
Apollo, let's hear what they know about this so-called Crystal of Ami Faye. Maybe we can find some inconsistencies in their statements.
Right. Okay then, Mr. Wright. If the item in question really is the Attition family heirloom, then let's hear all your client knows about it.
Of course, Mr. Attition Wimperson. Please tell the defense everything you know about the crystal's origin.
Alright. Now then, listen and learn. This is the tale of the Crystal of Ami Faye and the illustrious history of the Attition clan. Are you ready? Our story begins back in the old country when the Attition family reigned supreme.
I have a bad feeling about this. At the same time, I want to rip your freaking testimony apart, buddy.
My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. He protected the spirit mediums, a minority back then, from the rest of the locals. I think they were a minority even now. They don't really need help. Some discriminated against them, you see, while others tried to abuse their powers. As thanks, Army Faye gave the crystal she had specifically made as a gift to him. I am a descendant of that great lord. As such, my political power and influence are backed by centuries of history. Well, that devoted into a great load of self-aggrandizing propaganda fast.
As you can see, the crystal of Ami Faye is an heirloom of the esteemed house of Attishan.
And you have proof that it has always been in the Attishan family?
I have someone who gave a statement to that effect. My client's neighbor, one Yves Shineto, age 85, gave the following statement. The Justinians showed me the crystal back when I was but a lad.
Objection!
Can we really trust the memory of an old man?
Mr. Justice! Would you care to explain that statement to the judge? Oh! Crap! Oh, I didn't mean... What am I trying to say is, just walk away. Walk away from it. Never underestimate the memory of your elders. I may forget my verdicts the next day, but the memory of my past are clear as day. Therefore, I find Mr. Yves Geneto's statement to be perfectly credible. How? Did you see how Mr. Wright got the judge on his side? That's definitely a trick I want up my sleeve.
You're not helping, Athena!
You're not helping at all, Athena. You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Justice. Thank you. I have a couple of notes that I'd like to prove your statement wrong. Yeah, your ancestor, blobbity, blobbity, blobbity. I want Ami Faye. Give me my Ami Faye moment. No. Your lovely, thing about the crystal?
Objection!
Proven wrong. I got research notes, buddy.
You stated that Ami Faye had the crystal made for your ancestor? So, am I to assume this was made in Japan?
Oh, you fool. You pathetic fool.
That's right. The craftsmanship is unbeatable. Well, that's strange. I don't see how your so-called crystal could have been made there. What are you talking about? It's quite obvious if you take a closer look at this.
Take that!
Take a look at the distinctive design here. According to Dr. Buff, it's a Mitama motif dating back from the early days of the kingdom of Khura'in.
The kingdom of Khura'in, And you base this on?
Here. This is a piece of evidence, Your Honor. These are the doctor's research notes on the Founder's Orb. This is the box in which the orb was originally stored. It features the same pattern as the ones on the orb.
They do look like the same pattern.
Therefore, I assert that the disputed item must have been made in the kingdom of Khura'in. My
design technique originated in the Kingdom of Khura'in. And Amife is known to have traveled there to train. With that in mind, what's to say she didn't bring that pattern back with her?
Objection!
But since this is clearly a Khura'inese design, not even you can deny the possibility that it was made there in the Kingdom of Khura'in.
Objection!
Shut up! Anything's possible to some extent. That doesn't make it true. So you can't conclude that the orb is from Khura'in based solely on that pattern. If it were that simple, I could just as easily say it's Japanese. Ah! Damn it! Why are we doing this? I have to agree with Mr. Wright. The pattern alone proves nothing. But that also means there's no basis to claim the item in dispute was made in Japan either. At this rate, we're going nowhere fast.
He's right. And we're just spinning our wheels over here.
I wonder if we have any evidence that could break this stalemate.
Evidence that could break the stalemate does not exist. I don't have it. There doesn't seem to be anything we can use, at least not at this point.
Well, unless we find something, this trial won't be going anywhere.
Can you just tape it back together? That's much better. What's his deal?
I have a suggestion. Why don't we consider this from a different angle?
I'm listening.
What if the Defiant Dragons really were authorized to take possession of the relic? I'm afraid I don't know where you're going with this, Mr. Wright. Consider the orb transfer agreement, which states, I agree to hand over the Founder's Orb to the Defiant Dragons if I would come to no harm. What are you getting at? What if, as the last part suggests, this was written under duress?
Crap you! Screw you, Phoenix!
That would render the agreement null and void.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Wright?
While you were on your little cave expedition, I was investigating Dr. Buff's accident. And there was something you overlooked, Mr. Justice! Namely, that his accident might have actually been murder! Damn it! I had a feeling! I had a horrible feeling. What, murder? Are we turning this into a murder trial as well? Mr. Wright, you do realize such statements are not to be made lightly. Are you suggesting the doctor was murdered by the Defiant Dragons? Yes, but follow me on this for a second. The books that came tumbling down were from the archaeology shelf. However, among that mountain of books was a single volume on psychology. What's more, there was some blood on it.
And you feel this is important because...
Follow? The books that came tumbling down were from the top shelf and are the archaeology books. We know this because the doctor's books were meticulously organized by subject. Archaeology took up the entire shelf, so the psychology book is completely out of place.
Come to think of it, the shelves were arranged quite carefully.
It's also worth noting that psychology books only take up a tiny part of the bottom shelf. You might wonder why a book on psychology was found amid a pile of archaeology books. But I believe I can explain what that single out-of-place book was doing there. The doctor was struck from behind while selecting a psychology book from the shelf.
And that's when the blood got on the book?
Precisely. And to make it look like an accident, he was buried under a mountain of archaeology books.
Objection!
Wait a second. This is all just speculation, right? How do you kill somebody with a book? Or do you have proof that it was murder? Of course I do. Crap! You do? On a hunch, I had Detective Sky examine the doctor's head wound. She found that he had been struck by the corner of some object or another. Wait, what? A wound like that couldn't have resulted from a fall to the floor, you know. Do you understand what this means, Mr. Justice? The wound makes it crystal clear that Dr. Buff was murdered. Oh, God. We're screwed. What? Well, that was unexpected. Who'd have thought we'd break out of the stalemate like this? He pulled the ladder right from under us. Still, if he thinks that's enough to make me back down, he's got another thing coming. Even if the cause of death was murder, what makes you think it was the Defiant Dragons? You should know better than to hurl baseless accusations.
Objection!
Did you forget who you were up against, Mr. Justice? Huh? You didn't actually think I'd come to court without witnesses and evidence, did you? What are you talking about? I would like to request further testimony from the plaintiff specifically. I would like the court to hear how he saw one of the rebels leaving the crime scene. He saw what? Crap, we're in trouble. If he can prove it was murder, then that's the end of our client's right to the orb. Did he have this up his sleeve the whole time? Grr! How can Mr. Wright do this to us? He was just waiting to spring this trap.
This trial has taken another unexpected turn. But I must mention, Mr. Wright, that you have yet to identify the murder weapon.
The object used to commit the murder was not located at the scene of the crime. The murderer likely disposed of it elsewhere.
Well, I never thought we'd be deliberating on an issue of murder in a civil trial. All right, Mr. Attition Wimperson, your testimony, if you please.
And that's where we're going to end off this episode so that I can have a little break before I start recording even more. As you guys can see, we are going to our objections. Not that one. Not that one. This one. We're on our objection screen now. Oh my goodness. Yes, shockingly enough, I can even screw up something I'm not supposed to screw up. Anyway, thank you all for supporting me again on Ace Attorney Month. We're nearing the end, and I'm doing so much work. I'm doing the ratings video, which is taking so much time. Like, you guys don't even know how much time it takes to, like, make that video actually look like it's going to work. Plus, obviously, Yokai Watch comes out tomorrow, so that's also taking up a lot of my brain power getting ready for it. I still gotta check and see, and hope against hope that my GameStop might be willing to do a midnight release tonight. They still haven't answered me. They said, wait until the day of, and we'll let you know. Anyway, you can look at the side. You will see two big buttons there. On the top button, if you press it, you'll head on over to my playthrough of Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations. That's right, a little different play on the formula of Ace Attorney through the eyes of Miles Edgeworth. Or if you really want to keep playing with the lawyer in blue, you can press the button on the bottom to head on over to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where, God, we're out to slay a dragon. We're out to slay a dragon. We're going to slay a dragon. Yep, I'm not elaborating any more than that. And if you really like the content that you've seen on the channel, please press the big red button down below to subscribe to the channel today. Again, guys, thank you all for the support. I'm sorry that these episodes aren't as long as normal. I mean, you guys were like, episode 15 was the longest part of this that I actually had the time to sit down and record, and that's because I came back from class and literally just recorded until I finished the entire first part, and it was past midnight. I don't want to do that again. So again, thank you all for supporting me, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everyone.